Hello, fuckos. This is my week 1 match versus William. Just gonna run through my team first, and then we can get into the game. So let's just look at the teams in comparison. This is my team and his team. As you can see, his team's pretty fast at this end here. Got a lot of speedy fuckers, and my team's quite slow, so obviously it does have the advantage there on me, but I felt pretty confident going into this matchup in a couple of things. Scarf Crook was really, really strong here. Potentially with a Moxie Sweep, that's what I wanted to run, but I ended up running Intimidate to deal with the Lycan Rock Dusk. It felt pretty strong in this matchup, as I said. It's just as long as I could deal with his electric spam, which I felt the team I brought dealt with it pretty well. But let's run it down. So first of all, we got actually I'll start off with the Toxic set. This was basically a set just designed to it dealt with certain things pretty well. Didn't get set up on because I actually did a surprising amount of damage back with Liquidation and Poison Jab. I didn't like Scold here, just didn't seem to do much. He had a lot of special attackers. And one thing I was kind of scared of was the Volcarona potentially as well. Liquidation just does so much better than Scold against Volcarona. Toxic Spikes here is also very good versus him, as you can see from his defoggers. His main real defoggers I felt for this game were going to be either Decidueye or Golbat. I thought he'd bring one of these. He ended up bringing Cocoa Defog, which is weak to Toxic Spikes anyway, so it would take the T-Spikes damage, which is fine. Except we've got the Snorlax set. The Snorlax set was really nice. It just felt like it just dealt with pretty much everything on his team fairly well. Toxic was for Blastoise, Gastrodon, things like that. His team's quite weak to Earthquake spam, so you know, it's just very good just to have Earthquake on pretty much all on Pokemon that can have it. As you can see, it's just good against Magneton, Ampharos, Coco, Lycanroc, and Body Slam. His only ghost here is Decidueye, and that's where Ice Punch comes in. So Ice Punch also good against the Landorus, and just rounding up with the Toxic. So this is just a nice set, fairly specially defensive, but also dealing decent damage with the EVs used. This Diancie set is mostly specially defensive again, just designed to deal with a lot of things. Just get up rocks, basically, was its main goal. Just get up rocks and then it can die. I don't really care about it. Last move here is Light Screen, was just kind of just a filler. So that's their Explosion, so, or potentially Endeavor. It was just kind of whatever. This Mega Glade set was pretty weird. It's a subset. It was basically kind of just like a backup set in case he brought a lot more of his bulky things. So you see Psycho Cut here is kind of for like wear and just to avoid any bulky like physical Volcarona, so it just can use Psycho Cut on it instead of getting Flame Body, because I didn't want to bring a rock move on this. It just felt like a waste. This team's not super weak to rock outside of Volcarona, so it survives Hawlucha, Acrobatics, I think, with this EV spread, but I mostly just dealt with the Gastrodon really well, and this team was very weak to Gastrodon. It just couldn't break through it outside of just toxicking it, so Leaf Blade here, just one hit KO it. It can set up a sub, and it, I believe the sub didn't get broken either from the Gastrodon, so it's just quite a good counter to that. I was quite scared of Gastron coming into the matchup because it just walled a lot of my shit. So we have here, yeah, finally just the Crocodile set, just having Scarf set, just outsped max speed Coco. That's all I needed to do really. Wasn't caring about anything else because his speed doesn't really want to be scarfed, honestly. Like, I was maybe scared of Landorus being scarfed. Landorus and Volcarona was the two that I thought maybe these could be scarfed and maybe they'll be annoying. But, you know, it worked out pretty well. Finally, this Celestial set. So this is just your standard auto-tomize Celesteela as a physical set. And basically just designed to come in. As I said, he just felt like he wasn't really going to bring a Scarfer. If he was going to bring a Scarfer, it was going to be Volcarona or Landorus. Landorus doesn't do much against Celesteela. And I felt like he was going to just rely on the priority of his team because he's got decent priority in Lycanroc and Weavile. So I just felt like he was going to rely a lot more on that than anything else. But yeah, finally just acrobatics to round up. So heavy slam, earthquake, acrobatics. These trainers were, I'm pretty sure, just neutral on his team, at least. Earthquake beats Tapu Koko, Lycanroc. Heavy slam beats Weavile. Acrobatics actually does more to Volcarona with an item on it than Heavy Slam or Earthquake, so that was kind of why I brought that in as well, just in case I got Volcarona buried and I could spam Acrobatics. It wasn't really a last minute item because I didn't really need 3 moves in this matchup, I felt. Originally this was going to be Leech Seed as a kind of bait into thinking it was a bulkier set. But it worked out pretty well. So anyways, the matchup here, his team, you know, you look at it here and it's quite fast. You've got these 5 here are just faster than pretty much everything on my team outside of a Scarf. And then you've got the slow turning here. It turns out the slow turning Mega Ampharos set. I thought he'd bring Mega Ampharos because it kind of invalidates my Thundurus, which was my other electric unity. So it, or my other non-mega electric community. So yeah, it's a pretty good set here. But yeah, so turn 1, I was always going to lead Snorlax versus him because I know he wasn't going to lead with the Hawlucha. Especially with Coco on his team, he's got that potential to run the electric seed set, which is not actually that great versus me. I wasn't worried about it, but it's always there. So here I'm just going to fire off an Earthquake, and I do crit here, but he is running a full 252 defensive Mega Ampharos, which is why I didn't do actually too much damage to it, but it still does do quite a lot. It does get it decently chunked there with the crit. Now he sends in the Hawlucha here. Hawlucha doesn't do basically anything to Toxapex, so I'm just happy to switching into Toxapex here as he goes for the substitute. I wasn't worried about Hawlucha at all, really. Fine with what he's doing here. So he baton passes, and I go for the liquidation. I know that's going to beat. So that was one of the things I was looking at when I was basically just by his team. I was just making sure I was getting pretty much just breaking subs with either liquidation or poison jab. It's one of the reasons I have quite heavily invested attack into my Toxapex here. It's 184 attack invested, and it's basically just to break through subs on switches and things like that. Because you know he's got this baton passer in the Hawlucha, and you can just set up subs versus Pex. And I was kind of worried about that, I guess, mostly because of my lack of priority on this team. But here I'm just going to switch. I kind of figured he would U-turn, but it's just not worth the risk at this point in the game. So yeah, that's fine. Here I go for the switch because I'm thinking he's going to low kick this, mostly because I live a knockoff. But That's fine. He goes for the knockoff in here. Kind of realized I did not have correct ability. Here, I don't really have a great switch into to the Weavile except for the Toxic Packs, and I was fine with Delayed Dime because it didn't do much against this actual team. It gets outsped by like 4 Pokemon here. It's pretty useless at this point, so I'm fine with sacking it. It's, you know, it's not an issue. And I get to go into the DNC. DNC just walls Weavile outside of Metal Claw, which I didn't think he'd bring, so this was fine. And I get the rocks off here, which is great. Now, he goes for the substitute here. I go for a Moonblast, just playing it safe. I've got Diamond Storm on here as well. And I go for the Diamond Storm on here just in case he was going to go to straight into Hawlucha. Here he's obviously known for the Drill Run play on the Lycanroc Dusk, and with this damage I get to learn it is banded, which gives me a completely free switch into the Celesteela. He goes back into Hawlucha, and then goes for the sub on here, but again, Hawlucha can't really do much to Celesteela, so I'm happy just going for the Autotomize here. He, so yeah, I just go for the Heavy Slam. He Baton Passes into Mega Ampharos. This right here, bringing it into Earthquake range on the 252 set, or 248, 252 set. So I do get a crit here, but it doesn't actually matter. The first crit did matter, obviously, but I do have a Wakan Berry on this as well, so I wouldn't have died to a Volt Switch from it, but it's fine. Here I just go for the Earthquake. Just thinking possibly this is Shocker Berry, but nope, that's fine. We just kill it. And +2, we're just basically gonna clean up here. He has the priority, but he doesn't have super effective priority against Celesteela, so we just Heavy Slam the Weavile. That's fine. And Accelerock, I mean, you see why this Pokemon is actually pretty good here. It does 41% to Celesteela. The Bandit said it's a lot of damage, but hey, it's fine. And yeah, so just go for the Acrobatics to kill it. I think everything killed it at that point because we got, you know, so much less attack, but hey. And finally, we just finish off the Hawlucha, and that was it. You know, a couple of notes on this game. I mean, the first crit was, I guess, a little bit annoying for him, but I don't think it mattered too much with how the rest of the game played out and with how, with sort of how I dealt with his shit. I feel like he brought like quite a lot of like fast Pokemon to me, and I was kind of okay with it. It just didn't really break through. But like the Snorlax and the Toxapex did really well here. And yeah, I don't know. It was a good game for me, at least. A couple of crits would have been annoying, but yeah. Anyway, that was kind of it. It's a fun game for me, starting off season with a 6-0 Celesteela sweep. It's pretty good. But, yeah, I'll probably doing recordings for each of these, so see you next time.